to promote his new book titled Apprentice in Wonderland, which of course is a chronicle of Donald Trump's time as the host of The Apprentice on NBC. Author Ramin Setoodeh, and my apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name, I am horrible with names, but Mr. Setoodeh says that Donald Trump's memory was so bad a year ago that he didn't even remember being interviewed by the author. The author sat for 6 interviews with Donald Trump, and yet Trump couldn't remember him. Here is what Mr. Setoodeh, told MSNBC this week. The other thing that I think is really interesting, because I really got to know Donald Trump post-presidency and I got to see what he was like. Over the weekend, he was talking about how Joe Biden needs to take a cognitive test. Donald Trump had severe memory issues. As the journalist who spent the most time with him, I have to say he couldn't remember things. He couldn't even remember me. We spent an hour together in May of 2021, and then a few months later, I went back to Trump Tower to talk about his time in the White House. He had this vacant look, and I said, "Do you remember me?" He said, "No." He had no recollection of the lengthy interview that we had, and he wasn't doing a lot of interviews at that time. The American public really needs to see this portrait of Donald Trump. This shows what he is like and who he is and who he has always been. And this tracks, right? Donald Trump, not long ago, called Matt Gaetz Rick Gates. This past weekend, Dr. Ronnie Jackson kept calling him Dr. Ronnie Johnson. Confused Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi. Confused Xi Jinping of China with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Continuously confuses Obama for Biden, which he says is totally on purpose. But no, this man has serious cognitive issues. I mean, hell, the media was blowing up for 2 straight weeks when Robert Hur incorrectly implied that President Biden didn't remember when his son died. He remembered when his son died. It just took him a quick moment to think of it. You know, the exact date. If Biden had done any of this, if Biden hadn't remembered somebody who interviewed him, press would be blowing up about it. For weeks. I mean, again, it was weeks we heard about Biden's cognitive problems. Hell, Congress had a friggin' hearing about it because of Robert Hur mischaracterizing what happened during that deposition. Is Biden older? Is he slipping? 100%. I think anybody who says that he is not is lying to you. Is Trump a million times worse? Yes, he is. Yes, he absolutely is. Not just with the cognitive issues either. You also have the rage issues. You have the ego. You have the lying. You have all of these other diagnosable mental issues, possibly, according to mental health professionals, Alzheimer's or dementia. All of that added together creates a far more dangerous picture than the slight cognitive decline we see in President Biden. Yes, both men are not what they were 4 years ago. They're definitely not what they were 8 years ago. But one of them is a threat and the other is not. And that threat is Donald Trump. Because when you combine those possible mental illnesses that mental health professionals have been warning us about since 2016, combine that with the fact that he can't remember basic things anymore, that is an absolute recipe for disaster.